So now we would like to move forward to the next presentation. It will be presented by Ms. Alessandra Liberto, and the presentation is titled Date and Nighttime Estimation of Aerosol Extinction Coefficients at RGB Wavelength and Visibility Distance by using Digital Camera.
So, good afternoon, and my name is Alessandra Liberto, and on behalf of our friends at Seung in Korea, we are friends in industry, I give you a very brief presentation on what Seung is doing. I think you all know the company Seung? Nobody? Okay. So then I will just give you a brief introduction. So this is the summary. I have about 15 slides, and for the sake of time, I will go through this fairly quickly. On behalf of Seung, I have the pleasure to tell you that it's a South Korean company based in Daejeon. Daejeon is located about 170 kilometers south from Seoul, and it's a city which has about 1.5 million population. And it is known for its research and development institutes. It has about 23 universities, and Seung is connected to that scientific community. The company was established 5 years ago, so it's a kind of startup company, and they are specializing a lot in artificial intelligence for visibility systems. Mr. Jacinta is here. He's the CEO of the company, and later on he might be available for any questions you may have, and we also have a translator available if needed. So there is some discussion in Korea about visibility topics, and this is not necessarily reflecting my opinion, but this is what there is some debate about current visibility technology with regards to forward scatter, and the forward scatter has a different measurement principle than the cameras, and there now in Korea it looks like there's a tendency to move more into camera technology for visibility at the longer range, because according to the information provided by Seung, the sampling range of forward scatter is quite small compared to that of a camera. I mentioned before if the location where the forward scatter visibility meter is installed and the area where the actual fog, for example, occurs, they have detected errors in the figures. Seung has developed a solution, and they call it the camera GS02P. And it's a Hanwha camera, and they have developed the artificial intelligence algorithms and models implemented in that camera, which allows them to measure a far broader range than a forward scatter system would present. So they have been further developing their capabilities, and next year the company is going to release a new product which is called the GS08, and which gives a 360-degree visibility, and there are used two panoramic cameras for that. And they will also be able to better forecast visibility with that. That will be shown in a later slide. So, as an example case of the creativity and differentiation of the Seung company, they are combining their camera technology with any commercial weather stations, and by combining the meteorological parameters and the data from the camera, they can obtain a much better visibility. The case example you see now is used at one of the ports in Korea. So the ports authority specifically asked them to develop a solution for their requirements. And they are building up this capability as they are still fairly new. they of course have to prove their performance in time. So this is the case at the Korean port, where they have installed the camera and where the visibility range is quite broad, and that's I'm sorry, I'm behind. So this is the Korean installation at the coast. So the next slide shows the change in visibility every hour, visibility and the distance and time. So the Seung systems takes pictures of the target by distance, and they compare this data with the method measured by humans. And they claim this is completely consistent. And the sampling range is up to 20 kilometers, and that can also be visually checked. And then the next slide is quite an interesting one, and that is what also triggered me a little bit, because of course, I've worked a lot in the meteorological branch and specifically in aviation weather, and visibility is an extremely important part of the requirements at an airport. And last year in Seoul International Airport, they asked the company Seung to install 8 cameras, 120-degree cameras at the airport. And this was not asked by the KMA, but it was asked by air traffic control, which I found quite interesting, because they were saying that the actual AWOS, with the visibility sensors and the RVR, etc., is not sufficient for them. And they required extra safety and security measures to improve the visibility. And I think this is a trend which we will see more, because there are also other airports who want to measure around the airports, for example, like fog measurements, which you also see at Schiphol Airport. And these systems are now operational since 1 year. I asked Seung if they have any statistics available about the performance and how it enhanced the operations at the airport. But at this moment, this information is not yet available, because the time has been quite short, and the systems will still have to run for a while. And the next step will also be 360-degree cameras. Well, another example of the applications of this camera technology is for military applications. So air forces are showing also interest in especially 360-degree capability, and of course for heliports and urban air mobility and vertiports, this capability is now quite trendy, and the Seung Corporation is pursuing these kind of projects and also improving their technology. Well, at this moment you see, the sites they have in place in a relatively short phase. So it's the Coast Guard who has interest, who has installed the system. Seoul International Airport has installed 8 of those, and more installations are coming. So here's another example, and I don't want to elaborate too much on this, but I compare the artificial intelligence capability with existing visibility sensors. So this is not up to me to further elaborate, but I think the next slide, which shows a little bit about the technology they are using, that is the extinction coefficient and the convolutional neural network, deep learning. What they have done in the past 5 years is, as I said, develop their algorithms, and they also have a model. The software is owned by Seung, and they are further developing capabilities in this direction by artificial intelligence. Well, this is a bonus slide, not a formal one, but here you see a comparison between a LiDAR, a fog LiDAR, and a video visibility systems. It's just shown as a case example, but in the future they're also working on combining technologies in order to even further improve visibilities for airports, for roads, and not to underestimate for the military, as nowadays also in meteorology we see a lot of demand from the military side to deliver improved systems. So now I came to the end of the presentation, and I'm thanking you very much for your attention. The key contact is Mr. Jacinta. He's the CEO of the company, and as industry friend and partner, if you have any questions, you could also drop a note to me if you wish. So I hope you now know a little bit more about Siyung Company, and it's not a big multinational, it's a relatively small startup, and they have very promising technology, and that's why it's one of the reasons I also wanted to speak up for them and ask your attention for their capability and developments. They have a booth here for the whole week, so maybe you should drop in and ask them some further questions, which I may not be able to answer in detail on the scientific level. So I thank you very much for your kind attention.
So thank you very much for the presentation. So if there is any basic question, then post it now. Otherwise, all the questions are more than welcome at the booth. So we have one.
The algorithm for measurement is the optical depth for the light, optical depth.
So I'm überfragt, that's what they say in German. So your question is too much for me, because on the scientific level, I'm not as good as you are. So I think that it's a question for the CEO of Siyung to ask, and he will gladly provide you further details on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.